Hi folks, Santo here. We are going to start a radical series of video teachings where I'm going to deal with one of the thorniest, most difficult passages in the whole Bible that has caused a lot of people a lot of grief because it's been misunderstood. And it is Hebrews 9:27. And this is what it says. Just as people are destined to die once, and after that, face the judgment. This verse has been totally misrepresented by people. And the basic interpretation goes like this. After you die, you're going to face the judgment. So you had better make sure you accept Jesus before you die, because after that, you will face the judgment and it'll be too late. That's how this verse has been misunderstood by billions of people for many, many centuries. And someone dies. And you think, wow, they weren't in an active relationship with Jesus. Now they're going to face judgment without Christ. And they're going to go to hell. Now that was a lot of padding I just did on that verse. Let's look at it. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it does not say. Let's look at it. Just as people are appointed to die once, and after that, face judgment. It's saying two things. One, we're all going to die. Two, sometime after that, we're going to face the judgment. Death is followed by judgment. People embellish that. They pad it up. They bring a lot of baggage to that verse and they say, you see, this verse is saying once we die, you can't repent anymore and then you're going to face the judgment and you're going to go to hell. That's not what the verse said at all. It just said, everyone's going to die. Everyone's going to face the judgment. That's all it's going to say. It doesn't say that you can't repent after you die. And it doesn't say what happens to you when you face the judgment. And it doesn't say what can happen to you after the judgment. It just says, all people are appointed to die once. And then comes the judgment. Well, what happens in between death and the judgment? Doesn't say. What happens at the judgment? Doesn't say. What happens after the judgment? It doesn't say. It just says we all die and we're all going to face the judgment. In this series of videos, we're going to have a look at what happens to us when we die in between death and the judgment. Can we still get saved then? That just says you're going to die and you're going to face the judgment. But what happens in the middle? Then, what happens to us at the final judgment? Can we repent then? And then after that, what happens if we end up on the wrong side after the judgment? What happens then? That's the series. This is number 1, and I hope this really blesses you. Feel free to share these around the world. Bless you, folks. Goodbye.